Welcome into a Drew's Dozen. This is a podcast. I'm Drew Dougherty, and this is when we kind of ask some different sort of questions. And this is my good pal Marc Vandermeer, the whole voice of the Houston Texans.
Now, this used to be called Drew's Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, what's the point of having dirty in there? There's
Yeah,
nothing
'cause
dirty about it.
Yeah, it's not really dirty, but it's a play on the movie, which was a really good movie with James Brown. James Brown.
Jim Brown.
James Brown.
James is probably
James Brown would have been good in that movie too. Like, I feel good. Like that might have worked actually. Telly Savalas.
He was in there, yeah.
A bunch of other guys.
All
anyway,
those guys, yeah. So
before my time, actually.
You've got lots of opinions on the Houston Texans, on what happened in 2019, what's going to happen in 2020, and I don't care about those for this podcast.
What? This is like more of a personal thing?
Don't give a rip about those. So,
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready for the dozen. By the way, this is a big thrill for me. Like, my career was going okay, but now it has jumped a huge notch here that I'm on the dozen.
Oscars are this weekend, Mark.
Yes.
Favorite Oscar-winning picture of all time for you?
Godfather 2.
Okay.
Yeah. And, Goodfellas never won an Oscar. It was nominated. I think, did Ghost win that year? Somebody won.
I'm glad you brought that up. Dances with Wolves won.
Oh, yeah.
The follow-up to that question was the biggest Oscar snub of all time.
Okay. Look, Dances with Wolves was a good movie at the time, and Costner was piping hot at the time as a Hollywood star.
Really good movie.
He wrote it. Well, I don't know if he wrote all of it, but he directed it, starred in it, and it deserved a lot of credit. But Goodfellas lasted longer. Okay, Goodfellas today is still an incredibly watchable movie. Not that Dances with Wolves isn't. Although if you watch Dances with Wolves, Costner clearly has this '80s hair in this like Civil War era uniform.
Mary McDonald looks like she just got out of the salon or whatever. And
yeah,
I don't think it was like that on the prairies.
No, probably not. No perms on the prairies.
No.
Okay, there was a rule there. They didn't have the chemicals to do it.
But do you think that's the biggest snub of all time?
It's
most memorable to you, I guess.
It's as far as a snub goes, that's memorable. I'll give you the biggest. I don't know if this is a follow-up question, but the most ridiculous Oscar ever awarded. Okay, are you ready for this one?
Go.
Marissa Tomei and My Cousin Vinny.
No.
I'm not saying it was a bad performance.
There will be no Marissa Tomei slander on the Drew's Dozen podcast.
No, I love Marissa Tomei.
Stop it
but
right now.
It's not an Oscar.
Be quiet.
Oh, the toy is on everything. I mean, come on,
back
really?
to the
That's an
snub.
Oscar caliber acting performance?
Back to the snub.
Yeah.
I do think Goodfellas was clearly the better movie than Dances with Wolves, but I don't think that was as big a snub as Shakespeare in Love beating out Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, my gosh.
I think that was a bigger snub.
I'll tell you what. Well, they're both really good movies and incredibly different, right?
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan, the first 20 minutes, the Normandy scene is absolutely incredible. Like, if anybody's listening who hasn't seen the movie, at least watch that part. You will be blown away, and you feel like you're there, which you really don't want to feel like you're there because it was a nightmare. I still can't believe that battle happened.
It was hell.
And it's not even that long ago, really, in the grand scheme of things. But, yeah, that movie, that's probably a gigantic snub. Good point.
Okay, on a road game with a noon kickoff, what do you do from the time you wake up to the time you get to the stadium? Take me through the timeline.
Road game.
Yeah, when do you wake up and all that
road
stuff?
Games are nice.
Yeah.
I love road games and I know you feel like this too. Like, you love your kids. However, if
you don't know this, Mark has two.
Yes, I
two
got
little guys,
14 and 7 right now.
And I've got 4. I've got a couple 6-year-olds.
So
and
you
4
really love the road trips.
Right.
But, it's nice to have a break, and you're really focused. It's funny because, like, Bill O'Brien talks about how the team is very focused on the road and it's very understandable. You sequester everybody in the hotel. Everybody is banded together, you eat together. We always go out very often. Sometimes you stay in the room because you're just so exhausted from the 4 kids. But we bond on those road trips, and it's really a tremendous experience. It's a road trip, right? I mean, you go with your friends somewhere, it feels the same way. When I wake up, I automatically turn on the light, get my notes, and I read the notes.
So you start it right away.
Right away.
Do you set an alarm? Do you wake up at this time?
I try to wake up like 4.5 hours before kickoff if it's a noon game, like 7:30.
7:30. All right.
Yeah, and I know you guys get to the stadium before I do. I can't get to the stadium too early.
Right, because you've got too much nervous energy.
I walk around like an expectant father.
No,
okay, I don't need to be there for my radio job. I don't need to be there as early. Otherwise, I'll be like walking around, I'll be talking to people. I'll just whatever. Which is nothing wrong with that, but you get my drift. So I wake up and I go right to the notes because I'm a great short-term memory guy. Now, people think, oh, you remember every game, and I do remember every game, but I'm not one of these savants who can remember scores and
Sure.
stats from every game. I might remember that Ron Dane ran for, 153 yards in the win over the Colts in 2006, and he had 2 touchdowns. I remember stuff like that, but not everything.
Right.
But the short-term memory is strong. Like in school, I could look over the vocab right before the test and ace the test.
So you knew about gauche,
But-
no problem.
but you
knew
asked me-
about
you asked me a-
preponderance, no problem.
My kid has those words. He's in 8th grade. So the next day, though, I might not remember the words. I
So
might
it comes in,
remember
it comes
50.
out, but it's there
Oh,
for
yeah,
a little bit, and
yeah.
it rattles around. And
The games, it's a very short-term memory thing,
Mm-hmm.
And then the final exam, at school, you better do a tremendous review.
Re-remember.
So I like to look over the notes and the numbers. I always talk about this. I'm memorizing the opponent's numbers every week.
732, 733, you're already on to this.
Yeah, I'm doing that. I know you're like, get on with it, please. This is like question 2. Anyway, I turn on the TV because it's always fun to watch the ESPN and NFL Network pregame shows. I make sure we're on the air on radio. I check out Twitter. I watch Drew's walk from the locker room to the field. You do it for every road game. I love that. I retweet that. And that gets me in the mood. I get some breakfast in the room usually.
Yep.
Usually in the room. And I'm so fired up. I mean, I'm really grateful to be part of this experience.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
literally, and I don't mind saying this, I literally get on my knees before I leave the room every time, and I'm thankful to my higher power that I am there and I have the opportunity to do what I do. I'm that grateful, okay, to be able to do that. And then I hit the bus, hopefully on time. I get on the bus and go to the game. And
You
there's
said hopefully on time. Hold on, because
they left early once
Yes.
without me.
And they left pretty darn early. They didn't
did.
leave a minute
They left
early.
12 minutes early.
That's
Usually
it.
I'm down there between 5 and 10 minutes to go. I'm never like within 5. I know that, they don't want to wait on anybody.
Right.
And I don't want to be the one they're waiting on. But in Kansas City regular season this year, they left about 12, 13 minutes early ahead of schedule. So I was just getting downstairs and Andre texted me, this bus is moving. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay. But I hopped in a cab. I actually beat the bus to the stadium. So
Oh, wow.
that was pretty
And
good.
for the record, when we heard about that, we were at the stadium. No offense, but there was some howling of laughter
Yeah, I'm sure.
amongst the crew.
I'm sure.
Because we just had this idea
Yeah.
of Mark's face, like with your hands like this, looking
Oh, yeah.
around.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we
It
were
was
sure
going
there was
to be bad.
a
It was gonna be
furiousness.
bad.
Okay, so that's your routine before. Which road game? What do you do from the final whistle
Uh-huh.
until the time you get on the plane? Not the bus, but final whistle to the time you get on the plane.
Well, we do a 20-minute pregame show in the booth. Okay.
This is after the game.
Oh, after.
After the game. So the game is over. The
I'm done with
Texans
my
win.
broadcast.
Yeah, it's a win on the road.
All right, so after my because I do a tiny little post game. So Andre and I walk downstairs, and hopefully we're happy. Sometimes we're not happy.
Yeah.
And you know what it's like because when the team travels, we all travel with the team on multiple buses. You do TSA at the stadium most often. Some states don't let you do that, but most of the time you do TSA at the stadium. Some
Yeah,
guys
like
are like,
once or twice a year you don't. But
Yeah.
every stadium you're going through security.
you're
there.
going through security at the stadium. It's really interesting how they do that, and it works like clockwork. I mean, the guys, Clay Hampton and company and everybody in football ops who are responsible for this, they do a tremendous job moving. What's the traveling party? Like 150 people, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They move them very quickly. And we get through security, get on the bus. On the road, I write an article, Vandermeer's View. I write that article. I pound that out. If we have a home game the next day, the next game,
Right.
I'm pounding out my Game Day magazine preview right then because it has to go to press the next day.
Yep.
So I'm doing that on the bus, and I'm doing some hot reads for the Tailgate Times that has to go to press the next day that they distribute at home games. So I write 3 articles on the bus in about 45 minutes, just blast them out. It's really easy after a game for me to just
Sure.
and I'm not like you and DP when you're getting all the quotes and all that stuff. It's pretty much free-flowing
Right.
thought for me, so I can just knock that down on paper, and then we're on the bus, and then we're on the plane. You
Yeah.
know, we board the plane. Usually the players get on first. We board the plane, and then we're off and running back home, and it works very smoothly most of the time.
Yeah, every time I get on the bus on a road game, you've already gotten down there and your head is down and you're
Yep.
the white glow from the screen, you're hammering away. So 3 different articles. That's pretty good stuff. Okay, your favorite guitar player of all time.
It's Jimmy Page,
Okay.
and he's not the best rock guitarist ever. I'm very clear on this. Like, when people ask you, what's the best this or the best movie or the best that, there's a difference between your favorite and the best, in my opinion.
Why is he your favorite?
Jimmy Page is my favorite because I just identify with Led Zeppelin. I love them. I love the whole mystique, the vibe, the look. I got to admit, it's a big part of rock. Let's be honest here. And they borrowed a lot of things from a lot of different bands. You know, they borrowed some stuff from The Who. They took some stuff from Jeff Beck and Rod Stewart, actually, when they were playing together. And I think Jimmy Page actually looked at Rod Stewart and Jeff Beck playing and said, I want that sound. Because Rod Stewart, when he was with Beck, and people think of Rod Stewart now like, tonight's the night. But he was a great rock singer back in the late 60s, early 70s.
When he was with the Faces?
Faces, very good. Yeah. The Stay With Me, that kind of stuff. So I think Page borrowed a lot from them. I love Page. He's a tremendous guitarist. He makes mistakes, though. To me, Page is not perfect, but there's so much music coming out of that axe, okay? And when you listen to him live, like the Song Remains the Same live album, there are mistakes everywhere, but it's so tremendously brilliant. He's doing so many different things, virtuoso. And I liken him, sometimes I like the football players like that too. Like Dan Fouts is my favorite all-time quarterback. Makes mistakes,
right?
But there's so much great stuff. Even Watson makes mistakes, but you want to watch it. You want to see the art, you know?
Tom Brady lost 3 Super Bowls. You know, I mean, he's...
Right, exactly. Everybody makes some mistakes in sports. But, all right, so I think the best rock guitarist of all time is Jimi Hendrix.
Okay. All right.
But Jimmy Page is my favorite rock guitarist.
Jimmy Page is your favorite. Okay.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, I thought that was a man until, about
really
the mid-90s. Same with Def Leppard. I thought Def Leppard and Def Leppard, Led Zeppelin, I kind of mingled. I thought,
Def Leppard sounds more like a band. Led Zeppelin does sound like a guy.
Well, Led
like,
Zeppelin's
hey,
more
Led.
prolific, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you know how they got the name. Keith Moon, the drummer of The Who, said, oh, you're going to go down like a lead balloon. And they decided to call themselves Led Zeppelin.
So what's your favorite song to play on the guitar? Because Mark, if you don't know this, Mark likes to play the guitar a lot. So.
It varies from time to time. Lately, I've been playing The Waiting by Tom Petty because I like to sing it. Yeah, it's a pretty easy song. And I play it in a key where I can kind of sing it. I can sing a little bit. I can fake sing. I like playing Landslide by Fleetwood Mac if I'm just playing on the acoustic. Also on the acoustic, Over the Hills and Far Away by Zeppelin is a that's a really nice song to play. But usually if I just pick up a guitar from out of nowhere, I'll play an A jazz chord and I'll just start playing an A blues scale. And I'll just go, I'll just do that because it's like a natural warm-up in that key for me, and then I'll start messing around with other stuff.
If you had to pick a foursome, so you're in a foursome golf-wise.
Oh, boy.
Who are the other 3 people, and they can be living?
They're not golfers?
They could be. It could be anybody you want.
Well, it's funny because, like, a lot of people say, well, Jesus, I'll have Jesus in my foursome. Now, that's going to be interesting, because Jesus would have tremendous short game, okay? Dialed in on those drives. I mean, he's always going to be in the fairway, right?
Wouldn't it be a hole-in-one every time for Jesus?
I don't know. But here's the thing. He's going to love playing with bad golfers because he loves the sinners, okay? The golf by that logic, you could say you could cheat at golf, and he would love that.
Wouldn't he love playing with the great golfers, too?
He probably would.
Because he loves them all?
Yeah,
so
Jesus
is never.
I'd have a lot of questions. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to concentrate on my game that day.
It's a good guy to have in your foursome.
Like, am I really concerned with my score that day? Like,
He'd probably give you good tips,
I don't want him to see me shank this drive. What is he going to think of me? Is this going to I mean, actually, that would be really good for your game because you'll realize none of it really matters.
That's right.
But seriously, if I had to pick one golf, I think Phil Mickelson's so much fun on social media.
So
if I had to pick a golfer.
Phil Mickelson.
I can't believe I haven't prepared for this at all. I have not prepared for this.
That's you're off to a good start.
You got to narrow this sucker down for me.
Who's the final guy in there?
I only get one more.
Besides JC. Yeah, you're playing.
Well, I want to talk to my mom. My mom,
and your mom,
dead or alive. My mom died when I was 24, so I'll ride with my mom. I'll be like, Mom, look, Jesus is in the next card, but we got a lot to talk about.
Jesus,
here.
Mom, and Phil Mickelson. That's a holy trinity right there. Okay.
That's unbelievable.
Non-family member who you'd want to be your first mate, because this guy's a sailor as well.
It doesn't work like
sailor.
that.
So
non-family member.
Yes. Can't say your wife. Can't say
John Harris.
John Harris. That's
like John Harris as a sailboat racer is who you want. Yep. He's a baller. Okay, He's focused. He's smart. He's tough. Look, I've played pickup basketball with John. He transforms on a playing surface.
He's hulkish, isn't he?
People hear John Harris on the radio. He's such a nice guy. I mean, I love John. We all do. And I had no idea how much I was going to love him. When it was recommended that I talk to him about a possible gig here because, we had a need for somebody to help out with radio and everything, and I was like, would he want to do that? Would I even like him? I liked him on the air, but I was like, I love him.
Yeah.
Okay. But sailboat racing, who else would be? Every football coach who has no knowledge of sailboat racing would love sailboat racing.
How come?
Because there's a ton of teamwork involved, a ton of strategy. It's basically chess on the water that's physical, okay? Because you're sailing upwind, you're tacking, there are a lot of tactics involved, wind shifts. Am I going to be able to get there in time? How are these boats acting? Well, you have to take so many different things into consideration. Like, people who possibly do it and are listening are like, oh, yeah, that's true, but this is so esoteric, so we'll move on.
Okay, so what's your favorite sailing knot?
My favorite sailing knot. I like the bowline.
Oh, not the sheep shank?
Not
What's wrong with the sheep shank?
No, nobody uses a sheep shank.
Sorry.
That's so. Wait, what? Oh, that's Jaws. Tie me a sheep shank, and Richard Dreyfuss puts it right together.
What's the emoji you use most often?
The guy with his hand on the chin, like confused. I use that all the time. I'm like, what does that say about me? Confused or thinking, like pondering, like, oh, really? You don't say.
How long did it take before you started using emojis?
You know what? Early on, before they had emojis, I was doing the smile kind of guy,
The kind of
to my wife, I'd be like
they're like
colon.
analog emojis. Almost.
Yeah. On the regular typewriter, the colon and the dash and the parentheses to make a smile or a frown or whatever.
Okay, so you were kind of ahead of the game.
Ahead of the game. Sure, I was.
Foreign country you most enjoyed visiting?
Well, I like going back to my birthplace. I was born in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and
you still have family back there?
Oh yeah, I've got so much. True, I have so much family there. The Vandermeers are everywhere. First of all, it's a very common name in Holland.
How much Dutch do you speak?
Just the dirty words and the desserts. That's it. Now, I understand it. When I go over there, I can really pick it up fast. But I never spoke it as a baby. I moved here when I was 7 months old. I'm fully American. Yeah. Social Security number, American citizen, okay, registered for the draft. Not that they're going to take me right now, but you get my drift here.
What's your Social Security number?
It's
okay, sorry, go ahead.
It's funny because I do have an immigrant Social Security number from the early 60s. Like, I forget where I was, but I gave it to somebody in some situation. They said, you moved here in the early 60s. And I'm like, really mid-60s, okay, so don't date me. But I was a baby, and they said, oh, yeah, these were passed out in New York and whatever. It was basically, it was almost like Ellis Island because I came in through Kennedy Airport on KLM,
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah, that is. But it's also interesting that somebody picked that out. It was just.
Yeah, somebody knew for some reason. I forget. But that's all I'll say about that.
Knowledge. Okay.
And my mother's maiden name, never mind.
So the Netherlands. That's the Netherlands is your favorite foreign country to visit. Last time you cooked was?
Oh, probably over the weekend. I make eggs and stuff all the time. I'm a breakfast specialist. Okay, eggs, Dutch pancakes, which are very thin like crepes, and you roll them up. You have butter and powdered sugar. The Dutch do desserts really well.
Yeah, they do.
And I make those for the boys all the time. But they think that my dad's wife, my stepmom, basically Oma. We want it the way Oma does it. Like, all right, geez. Because I do it in a very quick, fast-paced American style.
She takes her time with it, and she's
oh my gosh, takes her time with it. It's delicious, but come on, and she's got a stick of butter on every one. No wonder.
Okay,
no wonder they like it.
You make good ribs too. You had everybody over for a company party.
I like cooking out. I'll make anything on the grill.
Yeah.
Like Jell-O. Put Jell-O on the grill. It's easy. I'll throw anything on the grill.
All right. The 12th question is the perfect steak meal involves.
The perfect steak meal. Okay, I'm very particular about this.
So
all right?
I asked this. Yeah.
You have to have the Caesar salad. I think.
Okay.
You just have to.
With anchovies.
That's a personal thing, and you can decide to have that or not. I personally I kind of like that they've been there, but I don't like them on there. I don't eat them, but it's okay to have the flavor. In fact, we had Chris Shepard gave our management team at one night we were all at the restaurant, and he had like a Caesar tutorial, and he talked about the origin of the Caesar salad and why it is the way it is and how so many people make it incorrectly from where it started. Anyway, it was really interesting. Shepard's a genius at culinary stuff. All right, so the Caesar salad, I like a New York strip medium. All right, Texas medium. Because when you order medium in New York, it's not the same as medium here.
Is Texas medium a little bit more medium rare?
No, yeah, rare.
Yeah.
Rarer. And sometimes it's like they bring it to the table and I just heard a moo, okay?
Right.
Like I need it, I don't want it overdone, but I need it cooked, okay? But I like a New York strip. And I do believe that you can have any vegetable you want, but I do like the steak fries with the steak.
Steak fries?
I don't want – mashed potatoes are fine. I'm not going to kick them out. But steak fries, there's just something about that. It brings it to another level.
And just whatever vegetable you're in.
Yeah, asparagus, whatever. I mean, that's fine. But I love the New York strip. Look, I like a filet too, and I do like a ribeye, but ribeyes are inconsistent.
Yeah, and ribeyes will weigh you down. Okay, so they take away all the entree and everything else, and then you do the dessert comes and you do the typical.
Yeah.
What's
circling
the dessert
table.
that you want?
What dessert do I want? You know what I want. I want anything that's chocolate with vanilla ice cream added. Chocolate hot with vanilla ice cream on it, melting away a little bit. Boom, let's go.
Mark, you aced your Drew's Dozen.
I did. I got a good grade?
Yeah, it was
Thank you so much.
Everyone gets a good grade on it because it's about them.
All right. It's about me. It's all about me.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.